Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, where we celebrate and have conversations with diverse people, organizations, and businesses making a positive impact on lives and in communities. In addition, we use the platform to highlight and celebrate events, places, and positive news. I am Dr. Kemi Akiode Adebayo, known as Mama K, and in today's program it is a special one. We are celebrating International Women's Day 2024, which is today, the 8th of March 2024. Although saying that, we use the whole of the month to celebrate International Women's Month. We are fortunate in South Africa to have 2 months celebrated for women. So the South African one is in August normally. So don't get confused. That is on the 8th of August. And we do feature a lot of activities and programs just to highlight what our women are doing in the community, in our homes, in the society. So yes, this year the United Nations decided to have the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Yes, it is very important to invest in women, and it is very important to inspire inclusion, be it in our homes, our community, our neighborhood, our faith organizations or places of worship, our businesses, our corporate organizations as well, and the government, as well. So what are you doing in your spare to invest in women? So what we're going to do today, we're going to feature 3 amazing and diverse women who have conquered a lot in their line of work and their career, and as well the profession they decided for themselves. So we did have a full-on interview with them, so you need to go to our YouTube channel to watch. The details are there, but it's Bold Moves Africa, to watch what those women were talking about when I had a full-on interview with them. So for this particular celebration of International Women's Day and Month 2024, which is about investing in women, we featured snippets, from these 3 guests. Miss Elise Malherbe, she is the founder of City Dots and volunteer, and she heads the Constantia Can for Cape Town, South Africa, that developed during the COVID time, where they thought and they planned and they acted, on doing things for their community as women and as men. Remember, we had all the E4 men who are celebrating a lot of our women. And as well, the second guest that we'll be featuring is Mrs. Tamara Maweni. She's actually the chairperson for Bold Moves Africa, my sister, my friend, my colleague, my boss, mentor, and everything else. I know she'll be laughing if she watches this. She's a professional accountant, well qualified, and she's based in Cape Town, South Africa as well. And our third guest that was featured is Miss Nicole Abrahams. She is the founder and designer for the House of Jocelyn, which is based in Cape Town, South Africa. So our diverse women represent what we feel, what women are about. And during the course of this month, we will be featuring other women, powerful women who are doing amazing things in their line of work, in their community. But I'll talk more about them probably at the end of the show. So enjoy. So I was asking Elise, as an engineer, which is a profession that we still don't have a lot of women in it, although it has changed from the last time, from way back. So I was asking her what sort of challenges she faced in her career as a woman and being an engineer, maybe, her being in the boardroom, and how she managed to deal with them. Let's see what she said. what challenges have you had to deal with as a woman, and maybe in the boardroom, in terms of your career and so on? And I'm more focused on how did you manage to handle them? Because we all know women face challenges.
Look, I'm very well aware of as we all are, of the gender inequalities. I mean, in a funny way, because I was so in a male-dominated environment, and I think maybe not just because of that, I had very strong female role models in my family. My mother, my grandmother, I think every woman in my family was scary.
They were strong leaders.
And a very open-minded, quite modern father. So for his time. So I had this idea that I can do anything as well as a guy, as a man. So I, and sometimes if you, so in the minority as I was in the engineering class, there are some benefits to it, of course, in terms of, I had quite an unusual qualification, for instance, and I'm sure at some point that benefited me maybe into getting into a job. Once you're in the job, I mean, of course, there are the normal preconceptions. I remember once at MNet, I flew back from a trip in America because it was the 10th birthday. They were having a big function, and the whole executive had to be there. It was still a complicated thing because the flight was cancelled, and I got there. And when I was on the lift going up, there were two of the board members there, and they both assumed I was Chris Becker's PA.
Okay.
But I mean, it's fine, but it was, it's like, I mean, it's hardly terribly insulting, but there was, but
it's ignorance, more than anything.
It's more ignorance.
But it's
Yeah. So look, I still find, because I coach quite a lot of women, and there are definitely still boys' clubs in many companies, and they're often sort of almost unconscious boys' clubs. They don't even, at one company I was coaching, I said to the MD, do you know that all the guys you employ kind of look the same?
And what was his reply? You probably didn't see it.
No, he said, what do you mean? I said, well, the kids are all basically at the same schools. They all cycle. They dress the same. And I see you coming. And he went, you're right. I said, maybe mix it up a little bit.
And is it ready to? Was it ready to?
I think that is...
Because sometimes people don't know.
It's going with what you can call another parent at whatever the school is and say, do you know the guy? You can get a recommendation that you trust, and you maybe don't even realize you're doing that. But of course, the minute you diversify things a bit and you get a few other voices in, you also see the benefit of that. So I have to say, in my own career, quite honestly, I think I've been, maybe my timing was good. I haven't personally ever had quite very overt sexism. I mean, I've got a very feminist children, all of them.
How many girls do you have?
I've got one daughter and then two sons, but they are all very strong on that. And I do look. I mean, the issues are undeniable. So I think. I mean, she also went to a school where I think they teach them too.
Wow! Kudos to you, Elise. I celebrate you. You heard her there, because she had strong female role model in her family that helped her, and believing that whatever a man can do, she could do as a woman as well. And the fact that she was really aware of gender equality was a plus as well. And yes, she was talking about the fact that working with men, over the times of during her career has helped her, and she knows what to expect and how to handle work in that environment. We salute you, Elise, and all the engineers out there, and all the women, out there who continue to fly the flag high for us women in the boardroom or wherever we're supposed to take our chair on the table to join in. Okay, so our second segment is my dear sister Tamara. This is really an interesting one for me, because I was asking her, for her being a professional accountant and being in the corporate world, how she's managed as a young female professional and as a black woman to navigate challenges in her work or through her career. Listen to this. how was corporate world for you? What were some of the challenges, for you as a young black accountant in a profession that it's still, I don't know, it's still not an area that a young black women, and you're a woman as well, join. So how has that been for you?
It was tough in the beginning because, you enter this corporate world, you obviously underpaid than your white counterparts, whether they're male or female. I think the one experience that stood out to me, because my name was Tamara, and my surname is Yako, which is Y-A-K-O. So some people assumed I was Chinese, Japanese type of thing. So I would talk to clients on the phone, and then the one day, the one client actually came to the office and say, "Oh, I'd actually like to physically meet Tamara," and then they called me. Then the minute he saw that it was a young black female, like you could see his whole face changed, because in his hearing, he thought that I was
a different person,
a different race,
because the name, the accent properly as well. Okay.
So, because I've got a very neutral accent, most people on the phone, they don't know whether I'm black or white. So after that, like you could see that he was not impressed, and he actually wanted to change his accountants. And
really? And then what happened?
No, I just met him and then I carried on. But for me, it was more...
No, he wanted to change, but he didn't get his way.
Look, the partners normally oversee everything, and they do the meetings with the clients.
Okay.
So he didn't have to directly interact with me, except when I was asking for information.
Okay.
So he couldn't change because, number one, most of us on the floor, which were trainees, we were mostly black. So there was
nowhere to go. But experiencing that in this day, well, I'm sure some years back, but still,
It was Cape Town at the time. The black people were not looked upon as professional people. It was almost like most people had that thing of stay in your lane, you're not supposed to be here, and type of thing. So you'd find that most black professionals would move to a Joburg, of which I didn't want to do that. I liked staying in Cape Town, and I was like, you know what, as much as racism is rife, especially in the corporate world, I'll push through and I'll get through it. And for me, having that encounter was more a reflection of him and his unwillingness to move on, and his unwillingness to open his mind to the new way that South Africa was changing into.
And you didn't let that bother
and
you.
I didn't
you
let
still
that.
did your work
Exactly.
professionally, and you focus on that. But it's just so sad, to hear that. Is that still on right now, do you think? Or
it is, especially if you go into the wealth space. So where you have your wealth in your investments, your people who handle like your millions and stuff. So still the clients are not willing to entrust their millions to a black professional versus a white one, especially Cape Townians, I find.
And how do we change that? Or how can we change that?
You can't change it drastically.
So it's a gradual step.
It's a gradual step, and then I think people, that old generation needs to get used to the new way of life, because it's like having black students.
And more black professional women as well maybe need to be encouraged and empowered to have that confidence, not to say, okay, Cape Town is not working for me.
Let me run to Joburg. Yeah.
So maybe that, that part of it needs to happen as well.
Look, I'm seeing at this day and age more of your young professionals moving to Cape Town.
Right. Okay.
So I think the dynamic is changing in Cape Town, where it was majority your white professionals will come here, but because of BEE and all of those things, you're finding that it's becoming a mix. So gradually Cape Town is becoming a mix of different races.
Thank you, Tamara, for being real and vulnerable, with us. And I know what you've shared, this experience you've shared, is probably what a lot of women can relate to. And for you, your name, Tamara Maweni, nobody probably could tell, yes, on the phone, whether you're black, white, colored, or young, old, or, and so on. And the mere fact that, yes, you'd been speaking to this client and was fine, he was fine with you. And then you met this client and then wanting to change his accountant because he was not happy, probably because you're black and a woman. But anyway, Thank you. Thank you for still navigating your time and your work, and just flying the flag for young black accountants in South Africa and in Africa. We'll be right back. Yes, our final segment is a snippet with Miss Nicole Abrahams, the founder and designer of House of Jocelyn, a beautiful, selfless, hard-working young lady who is doing a lot and being so creative in her work, and who already is flying the flag for South Africa overseas. So I asked her about life lesson, that she'll be able to share with a young Nicole. Let's see what she said. What are some of the key life lessons that you want to share with maybe your younger self, that 6-year-old Nicole, to say, I've learned this, I've walked this journey, maybe I could have done this, I don't know. What are some of the life lessons that you could share with us?
I'm the type of person, you shouldn't always look back from the past and want to change it, because the journey is what it is, and it brought you on where you are, on the path that you are now. But I think it's very important, for me, I left my job, and it was a paying job, to start a business full-time.
Which is on paying,
yes,
at the beginning.
Yes, so I would say for anybody who, or for myself, maybe back then, stick with working still, and then build your business on the side, and then also focus on the business, and 50-50, because it is very tough if you don't have financial support, and your financial support are you and your partner only. So where you still need to pay your bills every month, you have rent to pay, you have overhead costs that you need to cover, and then you need to try and make money in order to grow the business. And it's not easy, because you are putting in personal funds into your business. So as far as anyone can, stay at home, build a business and work. And then once you've grown your business to at least 2 or 3 years, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to do this full time. So that is one of the things that I would tell my younger self.
Thank you, and very important things as well. So now my final question, and I love asking this, not because I just want to highlight them, but because I want to hear people's solutions or what they think might be the way to address them. We have a lot of social issues that we battle against in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, in Nigeria, in Egypt, and so on, in Africa as a continent. But let's stay focused on South Africa, but I'm sure the same applies to those African countries. What social issues for you would you want to be addressed, and what are the solutions
for that? I grew up in the 90s, and at the height of the manufacturing industry in Cape Town specifically, where a lot of people working in the factories and production was key in our country. And after that, a lot of production moved out of the country, or it slowed down. So a lot of people lost their jobs. And for me it was, what can I do in order to help grow the economy and also for production, rather than importing products and then selling it. Whereas if I grow a business and I'm manufacturing, I can then employ other people to manufacture as well. So for me, it's, you can teach others and younger people about, we can use my business, for example, teach them how to sew. And then if they know how to sew, they can start small and then build their own business from there. And then that escalates to more people learning how to sew, and also then they can employ more people. So production is important, manufacturing in your own country, and that grows an economy and grows a community as well. So unemployment is very high. So if other people learn how to do things for themselves, and it's not just from making bags, but you can grow vegetables, you can start in agriculture, you can start in recycling is a big part, and it's a growing part of our country. and there's a lot of opportunities in the recycling industry, and as well as being green, starting businesses in green. And people might be surprised how much funding is available for young people if they want to start businesses in the green environment. So those are the things that I would say when it comes to social issues.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. Yes, I completely agree with you. If you want to step up in business, you need to make sure you have enough capital. You need to do it gradual. Don't quit your job. Do it, in a gradual way. Try and balance it. Test the waters. See first before you make the decision to leave your job and then be able to focus on your business. And I just admire you and your partner for all you're doing and the work you're doing. A work that had so much excellence, just being creative, using a local fabric, shweshwe, to promote the culture and to start conversation in terms of having them as bags, suitcases, and a lot of other things that you do, mats, table mats, and so on. Well done, for all you're doing. And we wish you all the very best. Remember as well that you can watch the full-on video, and to support all these 3 amazing women, we'll be sharing the details at the end for those who need support in whatever form or the other. Okay, that's all we've got time for today. We celebrate all our women. Kudos to you for all you're doing. Our women in sport, our women in education, our women in science, our women in politics, our women in business, our women in the creative industry, our women in the armed forces. I could go on and on in the various industries that women are now showcasing their talent and saying, yes, we're here, in agriculture, in manufacturing, hospitality. I could go on. And politics right now, we need more women, even though, yes, in Africa, a lot of countries are doing so much now. South Africa as an example, Rwanda as an example, whereby, yes, women have had the post of vice president or even president in some countries in Africa and across the world. So yes, we're not where we used to be 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when we were in Beijing talking about, yes, carrying the flag for women and what women were doing. So we continue to salute you, all our women, for all you're doing. And if you're not already investing in women in your business, in your organization, please, we encourage you to do. Women's Day is every day. Yes, we celebrate our men as well, especially those who help our women, to do so much and to be who they are, and in the multitasking role that a lot of us play. Mothers, sisters, aunties, mentors, and a lot of other roles, different hats that we wear. But we do it with so much dignity. And I'm appealing to all the women out there as well. Let us continue to support each other. I thank God for the women that have been part of my life, starting from my mothers, because I have a lot of my biological mother and I have a lot of other mothers. Some have gone, some are still very much around, and my mother, my biological mother, is still very much around. Kudos to her, an entrepreneur, an educator, and still brought us 6 children out into this world, and we're all doing very well. Where we were made, to know that anything a man can do, a woman can do. Kudos to my late father as well. He did that. I could change cars, tires. I could do anything. I started driving at a very early age. Very, very early age. Like 10. So yeah. Thank you for all our E4She women and all you're doing in the community, in the business, in the career, in various professions. We celebrate you. We celebrate all our women for their achievements, and we continue to look forward to our girl child what we're doing in their lives, how we're impacting their lives positively, how we're encouraging them to do more. Not forgetting the boy child too. I've got 2 young men. So, yes, I know that we can't leave our men behind and our boys behind. So like I said earlier at the beginning, we're going to use this month every Friday to feature powerful women who are doing amazing things in education, in the environmental recycling world, and in the creative industry. So watch out for Professor Shokbe, Miss Charlotte, and my dear Mama Josephine. She will tell you as well all what she's doing. Anyway, till next time, this is me, Mama Casey. Stay safe, stay blessed. Remember, you can support us, subscribe, sign in on all our social media handles, and keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting. We love you. God is love.